Hello, ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. I call you into my space once more to assist me with this collective reading. Know that it is my intention to align us all with healing joy in the most authentic versions of ourselves. And I pray that you bless us with the gift of wisdom and discernment so that we are able to take empowered action that is in alignment with our highest and greatest good. Please protect our minds, bodies, and spirits as I receive messages from the Most High. Ashe. What is it? Yeses and nos are 888. Like, a general reading is 15 and a complex reading is 20. But how has the full moon been treating y'all? The thing is, like, I was looking at my pattern the other day. You know, I should reach out to the pattern because I like the pattern. I'll add them to the list of like brand deals, sponsorships I want to do. But I like the pattern because the pattern will tell you what major transits you're going through. And I kind of feel like, and I have no major transits, you know what I mean? So like the bigger outer planets, they're not making any major aspects to any of my personal planets, right? Or any of my planets at all. Which means that I feel fairly unencumbered, right? And I felt unencumbered for about a month now. And I think it's going to be that way until maybe like mid-June. So I'm really trying to take advantage of this energy where I feel like there aren't like major themes impacting my life right now to get as far ahead as I want to, right? But also I have a Scorpio moon. The full moon was in Scorpio. And I just love Scorpio energy, and I very, 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 very much felt at home. Yeah. Now, with that said, please find yourself in a nice meditative space and set an intention for what it is you need clarity on. You know what I mean? Or what it is you want to receive messages about, right? Again, maybe pull out your journals, get you some tea. You know what I mean? And we'll just hop into it. But hello, God. Hello, the Most High. Oh. Ooh. That narrowly missed my eye. That narrowly missed my eye. Is my brother's wife cheating on him? No. But she could be thinking about it. No. But she could be thinking about it. Hey, Haisa, how's it going? I'm just getting started with the collective. Thank you for joining. But what is it that the Most High would like us to know? Please and thank you. What is it that the Most High would like us to know? Please and thank you. Okay. Yeah. And this is so interesting. Okay, so full moon, Scorpio full moon, right? Scorpio, the king, the master of like deep, soulful, and intuitive transformation. The things that are the transformation process, it is difficult, and we kind of see that in the death card, right? The death card is ruled by Scorpio energy. And like it are the things that truly transform us through like pain and agony, sometimes suffering, control issues. Like we feel it in our hearts, we feel it in our souls. But once we've been changed for good. Shout out to Wicked. What I'm seeing here is that so many of us, we want really quick results. We want really quick answers. Like there are certain areas of our life that we're dissatisfied with, that we're bored with, right? And the funny thing is that like we feel like that the solution to attracting this new, vibration or obtaining this new manifestation or stepping into this new timeline, it's outside of ourselves. It's like, I got to go do this. I got to go speak to that person. You know what I mean? I got to go lock in here. I got to go do this and that. And what I'm getting from these cards is that like, or whatever it is that we're missing, is that the transformation is internal. That we have to transform on the inside before we have to transform on the outside. This star card in reverse, which sometimes is a call to change our perspective, this feels like this is self-care. I'm healing self-respect. This could very much be self-respect or self-love. You know what I mean? The way that we care and nurture and show up for ourselves is really the missing piece, is really the missing link, Seven of Swords, that we're overlooking. that we're overlooking. That's really what it is that we need to step to be on the path, right? The Chariot card, to be in alignment with our manifestations, right? Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Because if we don't fix this relationship with ourselves, it's so funny. They're showing me that we'll actually get closer to our manifestations, but the condition of them is going to worsen, if that makes sense. Let's say that you want to get a job, of like $50,000. They're showing me that like you'll get closer to that 50,000 like salaried position, right? But it'll be in a job that you don't want, right? Instead of getting closer to it and in a position that feels right for you, that feels in alignment, that sits right in your spirit. Yeah, again, if we continue to overlook this, Five of Cups, Two of Swords in reverse, we're eventually going to be disappointed, right? If we don't address the internal, if we don't address how we're feeling on the inside before we start chasing things on the outside, when we obtain these manifestations, when we obtain these goals and these relationships that we're looking for, they're kind of going to leave us disappointed. So right now, and this message has been coming up for a while now, right? Ace of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck, Two of Swords in reverse. I'm sensing that like so many of us were being overloaded with information, right? World card at the bottom of the deck. We're being overloaded with information. Eight of Pentacles in reverse, right? And the information that we are being overloaded with is making us want to work harder, making us want to try harder, making us want to exhaust ourselves, right? Death card. There's that Death card I was talking about, but that actually needs to change, right? Seven of Pentacles, right? Four of Swords, right? What is it for us? What's our journaling process like? What works for me? Forget what the rest of the world is doing, what's going on elsewhere. What is it that I need to be doing? Right? And this isn't about like neglecting your communities or neglecting the news, you know what I mean? But this is not being so tuned in to sensationalized information that when somebody tells you, hey, you need to go buy this, or you need to do this, or this is the way that you need to prepare, that you completely, 717 on my clock, that you completely forget about the things that you were trying to manifest, right? This isn't that you can't take advice. This is like, okay, what am I doing first? What's on my goddamn priority list? And when we talk about the etymology of the word priority, it's one. So many times we talk about our priorities, and I think one of my clients was saying this. I think Amanda was saying this. Priority means one. If you have one priority, what is it? So many times we say, you know, my husband, my family, my friends, my school, my money, my body, my health, and then in that order. No. Priority means one. What is your top priority? Get in alignment with your top priority before you take advice from anybody else. Okay? This Four of Swords feels like if I don't have nothing, I have this one thing. If, you know, as long as I have movement and traction on this one goal, I'm at peace, I'm good. The rest of the world could be falling away. But if I'm good with this, I'm good. What is that? Is that your spiritual practice? Is that your money? Is that your relationships? Is that your career? Right? Is it your finances? Whatever it is, find out what that is. Take some time, I promise you. Find some time, to sit down and find out what is your top priority and what needs to be at the top of your list and what can you cut. You know, what can you pay a little less attention to? Yes, my love. Anything else? I was going to get an action plan, but the divine says there's more information. I was just talking about that. I wasn't, but I was thinking about it. Okay. So for some of us, there are some partnerships we're done with. The Nine Pentacles has gone up with. So now we're talking about relationships, I feel. This seems like it's in the same energy. It's in the same vibration, but it's like a different topic, if that makes sense. Right? So we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse followed by the Temperance card. We are receiving something that we do not want. I'm hearing the word hostility. Somebody's being hostile towards you. There's somebody irritating you. There's somebody bothering you, and you're not deserving of the energy. Right? Nine of Wands in reverse. It's exhausting you. But again, this Temperance card This Temperance card really feels like energetic transmutation, right? 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, all upright, right? And essentially what this feels like, it feels like you taking that energy, you taking the things that are draining you. And again, these could be relationships. These could be like people at work, in your family, in your friend circle, in your communities, or this could just be a situation, right? I'm hearing for somebody, this is like how hard you have to work, or how hard you're telling yourself you have to work, or how much effort you have to put in. And there's nothing wrong with trying hard, but there's like, and I got to bring this up because I was just telling myself this the other day. So like last week, I got news that I was accepted into grad school. Yay, me. Thank you. I appreciate it. But as soon as I got that information, I started exhausting myself. I was like, okay, now I got to go solidify the funds. So for like 2 nights, I was up all night doing research on like scholarships and ways to fund, my program. Right? After that 2 days, I was then thrown out of whack for another 2 days because then I started eating a bunch of junk food. You know what I mean? I wasn't meal prepping the same way that I was. I kind of stopped exercising. Right? It was kind of like this domino effect. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like, it could be a group of people that we're around. It could be a situation, or it could be a way that we're behaving. You know what I mean? That is keeping us from working at this slow and steady wins the race abundant pace. I like that. That kind of rhymed, right? Slow and steady wins the race abundant pace. We always want to work there. This 3 of Pentacles says that's always the energy and the vibration that we want to collaborate with. We don't ever want to be in a place where we're exhausting ourselves, where we're vibrating out of a place of desperation, out of a place of fear, out of a place of anxiety. Yeah, it should be easy. The effort should pour into you, and you should be pouring into the project, right? You should be able to say, okay, that's a good amount. Now I can go back to this plan. They're talking about a plan. Again, now I can go back to that priority. And it's delicate. And it's also not going to be a perfect balance with this 2 of Pentacles. Like the waves really jumped out to me here. That there's ups and downs, that there's ebbs and flows. But sometimes it feels like we create these big, drastic dips and waves. And it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, that felt good. Let's get an action plan. Y'all have any questions? Anything y'all want me to look into? Can we get an action plan for the collective, please, and thank you? Hey, Nick, how are you? Oh, you got some of the same cards. Okay, some of the same cards. So kind of what I'm picking up on, is a call. We got a lot of the same cards. A lot of the same cards are still jumping out. So I don't want to say this is a test, but it could be a test. A lesson is probably like a better way of phrasing it, right? First card that came up was the 9 of Pentacles. I just put that 9 of Pentacles back in there. Yes, this is still a collective. Elise, hope I'm saying that right. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. Then we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the 6 of Pentacles upright, right? What this feels like, if I'm being honest, we have to pay attention. This feels like a warning sign, right? It feels like the divine wants us to pay attention to the things that derail us, right? Like we have to know our triggers is what I'm sensing. Like, what's the one topic, right? When you're talking about your priorities, what's that one thing that can send you down a rabbit hole? What's that one thing that will have you stressing at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night? Is it your money? Is it your relationships? Is it your friends? Is it your family? Right? Because it feels like that there's no energetic barrier. There's no protection with this Page of Wands in reverse. It feels like if somebody throws this in our face, oh my gosh, I got to do something about this right now. I got to deal with this right now. As opposed to addressing the plan that you've created. The 7 of Pentacles feels like a plan. There's a plan and a structure. And you need to stick to it even in times of turbulence. That doesn't mean that we don't know how to pivot, But it's about knowing when you actually need to pivot and when you're actually being overstimulated, right? When you're being fear mongered, when somebody's throwing sensationalized information in your face and there's actually something to do, versus this is just something you need to be aware of. Yeah? Does that make sense? Because Four of Cups, Nine of Wands in reverse, this is going to continue to feel like we're going to be derailed. And this so funny that this Judgment card feels like confusion. There we go. We got the Seven of Cups in reverse. I was kind of sensing that energy. Like there's this sense of confusion. Like, oh, why is this happening again? This keeps happening. That's what it feels like. It feels like an old situation being brought back up, and it's like giving me like a headache and a migraine. Yeah. But again, this is what I was talking about, a test and a lesson. It's because we haven't learned. I don't know. Some of us probably need to meditate with this Hangman in reverse here. But there's a certain level of acceptance that I'm getting more than anything. So when we see the Hangman in reverse, usually what this points to is that the only thing holding us back from progressing with a certain situation is ourselves. And I am picking up on that energy, but it doesn't seem so simple, right? It's not that we just need progress from the situation and that we need to be the people to activate it. There's a certain level of acceptance around our attitudes, right? Or the way that we're perceiving things. So it's not, oh, I need to take action to get this thing to move along. It's actually to stop experiencing these situations, I need to change my perspective. Or in order for them to stop having that effect on me, I need to change the way that I look at them. Yeah. Or else we run the risk of again, going back to those deep ebb and flows that throw our equilibrium off balance. Yeah. And then for some of us also what I'm getting is that like we need to be able to recognize when it's happening. Right? That a lot of this energy is about recognizing, oh, this is the thing that's triggering me. Oh, I'm feeling myself become anxious. I'm feeling and sensing anxiety. This is my sign, this is my yield sign to slow down, to adjust, to shift, to pivot. Okay. Let me get us some oracle cards. Does that resonate at all? If it resonated, let me know in the comment section. I got this new deck that I need to program, but when y'all get tarot decks and then they be switching the cards up, how do you feel? I don't mind when they do it with the minor arcana, but the major arcana, they be giving them new images and new names. I'd be like, what is this? Excuse me. First off, we have the Rose Oracle. Can you get some information and insights for the collective, please and thank you? Can y'all let me know, for those of you watching on YouTube, can y'all let me know if the audio was loud? The Sun. This is a really good, sense of duality here. I'm actually going to read both of these. So the first one that we have is the Sun. Right? This is joy, enjoyment. Trying to make sure y'all can see it. Joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. In summer, when the sun's at its highest path in the sky, the rose is at its fullest. Her fragrance is sweet and the fruit is still to come. In this oracle, the sun represents life force energy, vitality, confidence, success, positivity, delight, and the sheer joy of life. After it's left the fertile darkness of the soil, the future rose begins reaching towards the light of the sun, which then plays its part in nourishing the rose as it reaches for its potential bloom. And it does this for us too. One of life's greatest blessings is to feel the warmth of the sun on our face, to drink in the gold nectar of what life has for us, and to take a moment to bask in being alive. This is your invitation, to relish in your aliveness, to embrace your joyfulness, to enjoy the simple things in life, to make time to play, to be grateful for your body, to acknowledge the wondrous life force that's woven throughout all of life, to remember that your soul had a dream and your life is in it. This is a wondrous card that heralds a time of playfulness, enjoyment, and bliss. The sun can also represent the inner child and be an invitation to have some fun. Have you been all work and no play lately? I was just saying that. Is your inner child longing to run free? What can you do to enjoy the simple things in life? When we allow ourselves the space to play, problems that were once unsolvable find solutions. And then the journaling or meditation prompt is, how can you enjoy life more? What can you do just for fun? Right? And I feels like it's being not counteracted, but balanced out with this card, right? And this one says, plant yourself here. Integration, embodiment, and grounded action. I'm gonna show it to y'all again. I felt like I moved it a little too quickly. And then I gotta put my face behind it on the YouTube camera so they can see it clearly. Okay. Invite your soul to come all the way in, from your knees to your nose, your cheeks to your toes. Fully embody your life. Drop the defensive walls. Let your soul land and occupy each and every cell. Anchor all parts of who you are into the here and now. Life is here, even when death is here. Birth isn't possible without it, and you came here to birth this world anew. Don't you remember? Fully commit to living this life. Put your 2 feet and your ancient soul wholly and completely in it. This is the card of the one who's committed to being the bridge between heaven and earth, the embodied mystic. They know that they don't need to denounce either heaven or earth. Rather, they are a weaver of the worlds, here to embody their soul more and more with each new day, here to weave the sacred back into the everyday life. This card is an invitation to commit more fully to your life as a soul having a human experience, to invite your soul to grow roots that reach deep so that you can grow tall, to commit to your humanity and your expansion at once. And this feels so, I'm not done reading it, but it just feels so beautiful. It feels so beautiful as like some of us, I feel like some of us, we get so caught up in the humanness of it all, of the rat race, of being on the hamster wheel. And no tea, no shade, some of us on the other end too, where we're so caught up in the stars and the etheric nature and our guides and our ancestors and our spiritual, and our spiritual motivations, that we forget that we actually have to do both, that it's not one or the other, that it's yes and. The rose invites us to embrace all stages of life on earth, from the buds to the bloom, from the cutting back to the fruit. Her beauty and sweet scent are an embodiment of heaven, a nectarous reward for being here. The rose reminds us to take a moment to properly enjoy the sweetness, and that heaven really can be a place on earth. And then the journaling, hey Bree, and then the journaling or meditation prompt is, how can you commit more to your life? And that's the thing. I actually want to give you a reading and more on that. Because if it don't apply, let it fly. But I was listening to, not a podcast earlier, but it was like, so I'm using this app Noom, and it talks about managing like your eating habits, but being able to rest is one of them. And then like one of the revelations that I had while listening to it was that like having fun can be productive. Having fun can help you move ahead. Right? There's a divine timing to everything though. And this is a general reading. I'm sorry, I didn't tap the microphone. But this is a general reading. But I thought that was very interesting, and that I was listening to that earlier today. Because sometimes that's something that I struggle with. I want to have fun, and I want to do what I want to do. But then I don't see all the progress that I know I need to be seeing. Well, hello, Ancestor Spirit Guides, Angels. We have one more Oracle card for this collective. Success in transformation. I was just talking about transformation. Stop, drop, and ground. And again, this grounding energy keeps coming through. You know what I mean? That we need to stop everything that we're doing and making sure that we're getting grounded before we proceed. But this is on page 13. Success in transformation. The essential meaning. The end of one thing and the beginning of another. Rebirth. There's that Scorpio energy. Ongoing growth, continuous improvement, transformation, and change. The self-care message. Holding on to the past, not letting go of an outmoded dream, giving up after the first test, difficulty reframing failure as learning. A major phase in your life is coming to a close, and a new beginning is coming into the view. This natural cycle of death and birth will bring positive closure to a long-awaited cycle of completion. These endings are inevitable, and we must allow them to happen naturally. Radically reframe any imperfections or unsuccessful attempts that have led to this. It's okay to make mistakes along the way, so accept them as invaluable lessons that have shown you how to become more resilient and more accurate with each successive try. Lean in with the growth mindset. Yep, another freaking growth opportunity. And begin to identify which ingredients we're missing. Then get ready to make some superstar upgrades because of continuous self-improvement is key to this transformation. One evolution leads to the next. We are never done learning about who we are, nor about who we are becoming. And because this is never too late to start, you're not too late to make it. Let go of old ideas and old ways of being and be reborn into an extraordinary new opportunity. And this is something that was dropped into me. Like, this is also something that I heard as I was reading this. For some people, you actually need to hear that you don't have to be in a constant state of growth, right? And this is kind of what like retrograde cycles teach us, right? Mistakes do lead to growth, yes. And in those mistakes, there's a growth and a learning opportunity. But on the flip side of that, it's okay to rest. It's okay to be in a down period. It's okay to be in a period of reflection, of storing up your energy before you get going again. Yeah, I just had one earlier this year, but I felt like somebody needed to hear that. Okay, journaling and meditation prompts. What is ending and what is beginning? How can you honor these two states of transition? Do you tend to rejoice in the new or lament the past? Every great success story includes moments of rejection and mistakes before that wildly incredible step was taken. How have you transformed and transformed again in order to be ready for your big moment? How are you welcoming continuous improvements into your life? And what one thing can you do differently that would be a dramatic improvement over last time? Yes, my loves? That concludes tonight's collective reading. I appreciate you all for hanging out with me. As always, please thank your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. Drop an emoji if you thought this was useful or helpful. What else, girl? Yeah, if you want a personal reading just so you can get more insights about what was meant for you, you know, what was it and what it is that your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels want you to know, please head over to the link in the description bar. I believe it's stanstore.com/MoOnline. Again, that's stanstore.com/MoOnline. And I have 30-minute readings, an hour readings, and couples readings as well. Right? But okay, my loves. I love you all. Please have a good night, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Feel free to watch another video. I'll let that ring a little bit longer.